Episode 283. Even Jake Robinson was not your match. Serena looked enlightened and nodded. That's why, I'm sorry, I'm just a bit touchy when I'm excited. Spencer had a dry smile on her face, pinching her arms with fingers. The dots were connected in Serena's mind. Spencer Cox could be Lila Cox. It could be. However, if Spencer was Lila Cox, then why did Lila get a surgery done on her face? As far as Serena remembered, she was most satisfied with her face. It was delicate and beautiful. Her look had won her the utmost love and admiration since she was a child. She had been proud like a peacock. Now she ruined that face herself? Yes, she was touted as the daughter of a murderer. She was labeled a psychopath and criminal 4 years ago, and was still wanted all over the country. It would still be too high a cost to hide her identity as Lila Cox. According to her character, she would never want to do this. Then there was only one explanation left, which was her face had been ruined. Therefore, she had to go through plastic surgeries. Therefore, it was necessary for her to change her face and identity. However, this was only Serena's conjecture in the end. A seafood dinner would be enough to determine whether she was Lila Cox or not. Even though a person's face and identity could be changed, her personality, habits, and allergies cannot change. Right? Out of Star City, Spencer unconsciously returned to her own car. Before Serena went on her ride, she suddenly remembered something and said, "Wait a second, Miss Cox. We didn't seem to talk about the issue of liquidated damages. I think it's necessary to discuss. This is my car. Will you come over?" Such a sudden invitation was not only a slight surprise to Spencer, but also alerted her bodyguard, who was looking at Serena with nonchalant vigilance. Serena shrugged helplessly and laughed. "Come on, my car is very big. I got it for my children. Shall we go together?" Spencer exchanged a look with her bodyguard and Serena said, "Come, or are you afraid that I'll eat you?" Spencer hesitated for a moment, then slowly walked up with her bodyguard. Her assistant went in their car and followed the RV. Serena's RV was large and spacious, with a driver's seat and co-pilot in the front, a folding chair at the back, and a red leather sofa big enough for an adult to lie down. After Spencer sat down, Serena told her about the liquidated damages and their scope. Vanessa sat with Spencer's bodyguard. They looked at each other without any words. After Serena finished talking, she suddenly exclaimed, "How is your hair messed up? This is not okay." She pulled out a black hairpin from her bag and said, "A girl should always be beautiful. Come, I will help you clip it." Spencer wanted to refuse, but Serena had one hand on the sofa and the other touching the top of her head already. Spencer's bodyguard stared at Serena's hands on his boss's head for the fear of her little tricks. Soon, Serena sat down again, smiling. "Very good, very beautiful." Seeing that the bodyguard had a grim look, she looked puzzled and chuckled. "What?" "Nothing, he's too nervous." Spencer also laughed and the car happened to stop. "Come on, let's get off, I think we're here." "Well, the guests first." Serena reached out a hand. Spencer and her bodyguard got off the RV together. Vanessa turned to look at Serena. She smiled at her and there was a smile on Vanessa's face as well. Done. Serena got out of the RV and very coolly she then took Spencer's arm and walked inside the restaurant. The bodyguard frowned. Spencer seemed a bit embarrassed, wanting to push Serena away, but she did not seem to be aware of her resistance. Pulling her, she asked the waiter to get a private dining room for them. After Spencer looked around, she felt relaxed and said, "I'm going to the bathroom." Serena nodded. "Sure." Spencer's bodyguard naturally followed her, so Serena snorted, "Are you following her to the bathroom?" Spencer laughed, but the bodyguard did not stop. After she left, Vanessa also went out and stood at the door, watching them walk away. The smile on Serena's face faded, and she took her cell phone out of her purse and opened the locator app. Spencer's location was right on it. Taking out a black earplug the size of a fingernail, Serena stuffed it into her ear and then covered it with her hair. That woman is getting more and more sly. In just 4 years, she has learned many of Jake's tricks. It was Spencer's voice. "Hush." It was the voice of the bodyguard, then it became quiet. Okay, it is just a normal hairpin. You think too much of her. The woman is stupid enough. She doesn't have the brain to do anything to the hairpin. However, I guess she's already begun to doubt me. She knows that I can't eat seafood. How can I avoid it now? Just tell her the truth. Plenty of people are allergic to seafood. How can she think that you're Lila Cox? No, she's not that stupid. She's been staring at my hand. I think she should have noticed something. Also, didn't you hear what she just said? Even if I lose everything, I will still be the biggest winner. She is clearly trying to test me and provoke me. Don't think so much. Right now, you're the biggest winner. Even Jake was not your match. In the past few years, you have tortured him like a circus lion. Who the hell is she? Hearing this, Serena felt a strong tingling straight from the heart. Right now, you're the biggest winner. Even Jake Robinson was not your match. In the past few years, you have tortured him like a circus lion. Those words were ringing in Serena's head. Choking, she felt her eyes were blurred. For real, Jake was still alive. He was still alive. Although she had always believed that, when hearing the exact news, she was still shocked. He was not dead. But what had happened to him? Where was he now? What did Lila do to him? And what was his current state? She knew nothing. Spencer Cox, who was clearly Lila, did not realize that her secret had been exposed to Serena. She heard the words of the bodyguard and laughed proudly. You're right. Even Jake Robinson was not my match. Who the hell is she?